Like the 13th century Marco Polo, the modern businessman is answering the lure of the distant horizon. But today, his transportation is the passenger jet, and he travels not east, but west. West to Australia's new frontiers, to towns like Kalgoorlie, where the tailings from the gold mines stand like the unfinished pyramids of some forgotten pharaoh. $1,000 million worth of gold has been won from these mountains of waste. Kalgoorlie is first stop on the businessman's tour to some of the most rapidly developing regions in the world. The tour, organized by business jets, is not a pleasure jaunt, but for these men a fact-finding mission that will be an unforgettable and invaluable experience. At this gold mine, the ore crushing plant handles 1,000 tons a day. The ore is not rich, it returns only half an ounce of gold to the ton. Southeast of Kalgoorlie lies Lake Lefroy, where brackish water and salt flats merge into a shimmering sheet. On its shore stands the town of Kambalda and the Kambalda nickel mines. 500 feet underground is the richest nickel-bearing ore in the world. Flotation vats, like giant witches' cauldrons, separate the nickel from the waste. To the mapmakers, Mount Tom Price is just another peak in the Hamersley Ranges. To the miners, it's the world's largest lump of high-grade iron ore, more than 500 million tons. According to the locals, the ore is so rich you can weld the ground together, always assuming you can get to it before the earth movers do. From Tom Price, the ore travels by rail in train loads nearly half a mile long to the seaport of Dampier, where the ore is crushed, ground and formed into pellets to facilitate smelting. An iron-hungry world is bidding keenly for high-grade ore. Most of these pellets will end up in the steel mills of Japan. Mount Newman is another of the new frontiers where a $200 million investment has almost reached the payoff point. Here on the whaleback, one is surrounded by hills of iron. 1,000 million tons of near 70% iron ore. Everything's on a big scale. This loader handles 18 tons at a bite. From Mount Newman, the ore will go by rail to Port Headland, and a new line is nearing completion. 260 miles of track will have been laid by April 1969. The track is welded into quarter-mile lengths and laid at the rate of nearly 3 miles a day, a rate unequaled in the history of track building. From Mount Goldsworthy, ore is already being freighted to Port Headland harbour. Even the harbour had to be cut from the unwilling seabed. In the face of 20-foot tides, dredging operations will have deepened the seaways to allow passage of ships 100,000 tons or more by 1969. But at Port Headland, the hardships of the frontier have been softened a little. The Falcon Jet's next touchdown is Marble Bar, claimed to be the hottest town in Australia. Giving the town its name is this outcrop of what the locals thought was marble. But the name stuck, even after the rock was identified as jasperite. An open-air theatre caters for the 100 or so inhabitants in consistently over the 100 temperatures. For the more energetic, Aussie Rules can be played for the cost of sticking in a few goalposts in the nearest convenient paddock. A cold beer and the comfort of the airliner contrasts strangely with the arid, twisted ranges of the Kimberleys below. This is the easy way to cross the burning barriers of the north. The Kununurra Diversion Dam, part of a project to irrigate 180,000 acres of the Ord River Valley. Although sorghum is amongst the many experimental crops that have proved successful, the main crop is still cotton. 1,500 bales of cotton are produced annually from these 600-acre farms. The cotton currently fetches $110 a bale. The 30 farms in the area will be increased to 300 when the project is completed. Already a second cotton ginnery has been built to handle the current crop. More will follow. Just 150 miles from the northernmost point of Australia is the town of Weipa, built on one of the largest bauxite deposits in the world. The bauxite is handled just as it comes from the ground, 98% pure aluminium ore. There are 2 loaders, and between them they move 800 tons of bauxite every hour. From Weipa, the ore is sent by sea to the refineries in Queensland, Tasmania and Japan. From Mount Isa, the roads of commerce stretch across the globe. One of the oldest and largest companies in Australia, Mount Isa Mines dominates the town of 17,000 people. The abandoned open cut looms like the mouth of a volcano that used to erupt a continuous stream of copper, lead, zinc and silver. But the riches of the earth ran deeper still. Nearly a mile below the surface, copper ore is hauled up to feed the refineries. 70,000 tons of pure copper are produced each year. The earth is yielding riches beyond imagination, and according to the experts, we've only scratched the surface. Nickel from Kambalda, unlimited iron ore from Tom Price, Newman and Goldsworthy, the Ord's irrigation potential, and Queensland's bauxite, copper and lead. Truly new frontiers in a promised land. 180 years ago, Governor Arthur Phillip planted